Hey everyone, it is Monique here, and I want to speak to a topic that has been, I don't know if the bane of my existence is actually the right thing to use here. Let me search it. Bane of my existence. What does it mean? Okay, yes, I'm using it correctly, and I'm not going to cut this out. I'm going to leave this in. So, has been romantic relationships and specific people for as long as I can remember. And if you know me a little, because you've been following me for a while, then, and if you don't, then I'm telling you now, I'm tenacious as fuck. If I want to have something, know something, be able to do something, understand something, I'm like, I'm a pit bull and I won't let go until I get it. So, this specific person stuff is something that is a beautiful teacher. Like anything that you make your God is a beautiful teacher. Some people make money their God, some people make family, friendships, health, whatever we make our God, instead of understanding that we are the creator of our reality, whatever we make our God is the perfect teacher. Because everything in our life is continuously showing, turning, mirroring us back to ourselves. Until we understand this, we will walk into the same pothole and complain why we keep falling into a smelly pothole and then have to climb out and then being covered in all kinds of gunk until we understand, wait a minute. It is showing me something about me. And the something in a nutshell is you have been making something else, someone else outside of you, the God of your reality. The I'll be happy when syndrome. So back to specific people. Everything that you experience in your life comes from you, from your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your perspective. Your personality creates your personal reality. Your personality, your identity, your state of being, same, different words, has a perspective. And when you change your personality, because you can, your identity, your state of being, you will also change your perspective. The person who is a specific person or who was a specific person, and when I say specific person, because everyone is a specific person, right? But then I mean the whole school of people that are like, I want this specific person, and this is, and God of their existence, and it's them, and it's that. But you know what? At one point, let me wait a moment. Let me turn off the air conditioning. At one point, that specific person was not in their life. And before they came into their life, they had a wish to have a certain experience, and they focused on this wish, either consciously or unconsciously, started to imagine, like, oh, how amazing would it feel to have A, B, C, or D with a person that is like so and so. And all of a sudden, they meet this type of person, and then this person becomes the God of their reality. But what they forget, and what I forgot, was that it was a creation from our consciousness from my consciousness, from the person with a specific person's consciousness in the first place. Because the specific person was not always there, and maybe there were multiple. I can tell you, I've had multiple. Oh my God. Ah, so when you realize that everything is a creation that comes from your consciousness, you can still have this specific person, but understand what is causation. You are causation with your beautiful focused mind. And so all that this whole specific person stuff is you causing causation, or sorry, placing causation outside of you in the hands of someone else. And I'm going to say something that might be a bit hurtful, especially when you're super attached to creating a loving, committed relationship with a specific person that you're really attached to. So, trigger warning. Consciousness will always outpicture the best possible option. Not an option that you don't like, but the best possible option. So it might be that your current specific person will be replaced by someone else because the current specific person doesn't match for whatever reason. And how this works, I cannot tell you. I just know it works this way because I've experienced it a couple of times. And I have to tell you, I wasn't disappointed. I was actually pretty stoked with the up leveling of the SP that I had in mind. But I also had accounts of people that were exactly the person that I wanted to create a relationship with. All of this to say, you are causation. And the same goes for health and for wealth. Everything comes from us, everything is created the same way. It is not that romance has a different god that helps out with creating that, like Cupid, than wealth has, and that's Hades. And I don't even know if Hades is a positive god. He's a Greek god, no? Hades. Or Zeus. Or Thor. No, it's all the same God, your wonderful human imagination. We are lowercase gods. That's how Seth says it. We have the same power at our fingertips, but keyed low. We are of all that is. Everything is all of all that is. The bed that I'm laying on now, talking to you, is made of all that is. Everything is made of all that is. There's nothing that is not made of all that is. But the bed, as far as I know, hopefully, doesn't have consciousness and cannot think for itself. Yeah, now I'm starting to kind of trip out. Maybe it can, but if it can, then when I communicate with it, I will let you know in the next video. Moral of the story: chill the fuck out. That's the moral of the story. I have helped a couple of women with chilling the F out with regards to specific people who were so invested in this dude. And at one point, I was luckily able to clarify to them how this actually works, because it's so frustrating and it's not fun when you are pining and you're like, everything this person does is kind of like he farts, and it's just like, dude, come on. He is a creation of yours, the version of him, because he's his own person, but the version of him that you experience and that you've called into your life, which is a co-creation as well, but the version of him that you see comes from you. The experience comes from your consciousness. And then another consciousness has to agree to be in on that experience. And that's the co creation of the thing. But it is your bubble, and everyone plays the role in your bubble that you ascribe to them. So, which brings me to another point, which is something that Bashar always says: circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters. State of being your personality, being your identity. And he also explains this with the language. Circumstances don't matter. Circumstances don't create matter, they don't materialize. Your state of being is what materializes things. And that's why you can just relax, because it doesn't matter what has happened, what he said, what she said, how they behaved, because all of that was a response to who you were being. Which brings me to one extra point, and that is, how do some people call this? Gaslighting. A beautiful term, gaslighting yourself. My God, I think I can make millions of videos about this, about all of these terms that we make up to denote something that is just an idea. You are not gaslighting yourself, or anyone else for that matter, if you decide to choose to interpret reality from one frame only. And that frame is, you are responsible for your creations. When you start to mix and match frames, when you're going from psychology to I'm the god of my reality, psychology being they behave like this because when they grew up, this and this and this happened in their youth. That's explaining why someone is the way that is they are, and not taking responsibility for the fact that everyone is you outpictured. If that works for you, fine, but don't mix it with conscious creation, because you will get stuck and it's going to be painful and confusing. And yes, then you might start gaslighting yourself. Because if on the one hand you say, yeah, their behavior is actually not really cool because it means that they're avoidant and na na na. But then you also mix in Neville Goddard's everyone is you pushed out. So their behavior comes from you, but actually you feel insulted the way they behaved. But you're going to pretend it was actually not really insulting because you know it came from you. That's just confusing shit, man. That's not good for your health, for your mental health. So you have to choose a frame. And also, it doesn't mean that you don't open up your mouth, right? It means you don't vent, you don't blame, you don't go into victim. But you do still communicate with the people in your life in an adult way, taking full responsibility for your creations, but we're still in physical reality and you have a mouth. So if something happened that was really hurtful to you, figure out, okay, who have I been being to have this in front of me? Work on that within yourself. And when it keeps coming up, it is totally okay to say something to the other person, because this might be, I don't know if it is, that's for you to know, this might be part of this showing up in your reality, is you having agreed upon standing up for yourself more as a life journey experience. I don't know, you would know. And how do you know? By knowing yourself, by tuning into yourself, and by feeling like, is this something that doesn't let me go? And then exploring and then deciding. But hey, all of this is up to you, or up to me if you decide that you want my assistance in some of these things. well, then it's still up to you, but I can guide you through it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I trust that this video was helpful because I felt very much inspired to make it. A fit mind creates a beautiful body and an epic life. I will see you very, very soon, probably tomorrow in the next video. Much love. Bye.